giving the opportunity for people to share about homeopathy this way was the way I found I could give it back to the world, right? And I remember I was studying with somebody that told me, if you don't give enough for free, that doesn't hurt you, it's because you didn't give enough. And I told my husband, you take care of our baby and our kids, and I'm gonna do like 16 consultations in a week. And for me it was a lot because I just had the baby, but at the same time brought me so much energy, brought me energy to be, with the kids. And the feedback of people healing was fascinating. So I decided to keep doing this program. So now every month I've been offering 1 week of free consults, and it's been really, really unbelievable.
You told me a little while ago about this incredible initiative that you came up with to promote homeopathy in your community. And I was like, please, please, please come and share this with our listeners, because I just think what you're doing is fabulous. And I'd love for you to share that with us.
Okay, so I've been working.
Hello, homies, and welcome back to Homeopathy Hangout Podcast, where today we are hanging out with our lovely guest, Raquel Dutra, and I'm going to straight away tell her to pronounce her name correctly because it's beautiful and I want everyone to know how to correctly pronounce it.
Okay, so this is my take.
Yeah.
Raquel Dutra.
That sounds way sexier when you say it.
It's Brazilian, right?
Everything in Brazilian is sexier anyway, so you're
Yeah,
good.
gotta watch out for that. We give Mediterranean right away, just
Well, welcome to the show. I mean, we've been hanging out for a little bit because Raquel has been part of my membership since November. She was one of the founding members, and we got to know each other a bit through there, which has been amazing. But Raquel's been really, really smart with how she has been doing things to promote homeopathy. So I wanted to get her on the show to tell you all about that. But you know the drill, Raquel. You have to tell us first, before we get to that, how you were first introduced to homeopathy.
yeah. And I was thinking about it before I came, and it was lovely because I was around 19, 20 years old. And I had a very good friend in my theater school in my university, and she came and told me she had a lot of sinus issues, rhinitis, and then she told me she finally found a doctor that cured her sinus. And it was an anthroposophical doctor, and he had this clinic like once a month. He would see you for like very cheap. I think it was like 50 reais or 30 reais, which is probably $10. And it's like a free clinic just once a month. So I went there. I didn't really have anything chronic, but I think I really wanted to just get to know that anthroposophical doctor and start working, I think, more on the emotions. Like there was nothing physical too much. So we worked together for many, many years, and it was really, really helpful. But I would say it kept me out of trouble, but never like when I start using homeopathy as we all use now. Like I started with practical homeopathy and then mega potencies. And that's when really I saw my evolution. That's when I really saw my development. And this is how I just grabbed into this. And I said, I need to bring this to my whole family. I need to work with this. And I just felt like this is what I needed to be doing.
That is amazing. Now, for anybody watching the video on Rumble or YouTube, although we don't talk about YouTube because they deleted my channel, you will be hopefully like me appreciating that incredible artwork of books behind Raquel in how she's got them beautifully color coordinated. I know Sarah Valentini does that as well. But like any good homeopath, I appreciate a beautiful book rack. But I have a question for you because I noticed you've got Naima's book there. I have a copy here as well. Treat your child yourself. Now, half the spine is pink and half the spine is blue. How did you decide which one to put it in?
I don't know. I think
That
it
was
was because the pink and blue is so cute. I just kept with the pink. Yeah,
uh,
I know. I know.
it's
It's been some times doing that, but it feels
yeah.
like any trick. I mean, if I could just, select few books that I love, I would probably just read those. So like this, I need to go around and makes me read much more because I'm
Ah,
so, like I just need these books. No, like, oh my gosh, I haven't read that. Like this part, I need to go through. So it really like just
no.
really makes things more dynamic.
I love that. And I love your story of how you found homeopathy. And of course, in Brazil, people are much more open to homeopathy. Most people know what it is. And you've got homeopathic doctors there as well. But you're living in the US now, hey?
Yes, so I
Mm.
moved here when I was 25. But there, seriously, it was not too many people was using homeopathy. I mean, last time I went to Brazil, I did go to a homeopath because my daughter was having some issues and I wanted to see her side of the story. She could help me to understand that, our kids, we do need help. So she said that on the free clinics from the state, like on a public clinics, public hospitals, there are homeopaths, which that is pretty amazing. I didn't know that.
That is incredible. If you find one that speaks English that would like to come on the podcast, please send them my way.
Definitely,
That'd be
because I
amazing.
haven't seen nobody like nobody else that I know uses homeopathy.
Wow.
Nobody else from Brazil like that I know really use homeopathy. They say, I
Yeah.
don't use like, hey, do you want to use homeopathy? No, I don't use medicines. But then I see them like their child is have a headache, so they just grab something that is allopathic over the counter and give. And then they, are vomiting, they give Dramin or something. And I'm like, but you are using, allopathic drugs. Why don't you use homeopathics? Like, yeah, it's just too much. I don't know,
So
maybe I don't know the right
interesting.
people.
Oh, I've got a few Brazilian clients over here and they all reckon that they, like knew it over there. So yeah, amazing. But I also just want to acknowledge that it's almost midnight for you and you're doing this interview and you look fresh as the daisy. So whatever you're doing is working. So definitely keep doing that because I could not do an interview in the middle of the night. So I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
you told me a little while ago about this incredible initiative that you came up with to promote homeopathy in your community. And I was like, please, please, please come and share this with our listeners because I just think what you're doing is fabulous. And I'd love for you to share that with us.
Okay, so I've been working with homeopathy for the past 5 years, and it's been amazing, but I never have enough people yet to work that I wished that I could share all the knowledge, all the studies. So I just had my fourth baby and I was in maternity leave, and then I went to to your membership, and then all this information just coming back to me. And then I decided right away, like 2, 3 months after the baby was born, to start working. And I start working. I said, I need to give back to my community all that they give to me because I had so many people coming to give me food, cook for me, cook liver for because I had a lot of blood loss. And, like so many different people came out of their way to take care of me. And I used to have so many beautiful clients from the community. I said, I need to just give free consultations to go back to work. And not just for my old clients, but for new clients. And suddenly I had 15 people right away signed up. And it was fantastic. I said, even if I give one or two, I like to give more than one remedy, but like even if I give one remedy, it's already so helpful for them, right? So, I mean, I tried to do that again in February, and I always find like a motif. So it was like the Valentine's Day. So it's like, let's, share the love, 15 more people. And then next time, 20 more people. So many people start telling each other, like, I really would like you to know homeopathy. So some people, they don't really want to study homeopathy. They're not there to be home prescribers. And some people don't really know to look for homeopathy. So it was very nice because the people who were my clients already and the people who knew how to use homeopathy already, they shared that opportunity with their next, friends or family members. And that keep going. Like, so these people now had their case taken, had a lot of success. A lot of them gave me feedback with great success. And I'll share some stories. And then they go around and give more for their friends. So it's like, I'm going to meet this friend that we talked, and I want to see how she's doing because I'm doing great. She had asthma. This lady had asthma her whole life. And on her free consultation, her asthma was completely gone. And she doesn't suffer on summertime. She doesn't suffer in wintertime. So it's really unbelievable. Now she brought her husband. She says, I know your remedies work. You need to take care of my husband now. So it's unbelievable how, like, giving the opportunity for people to share about homeopathy this way was the way I found I could give it back to the world, right? And I remember I was studying with somebody that told me, if you don't give enough for free, that doesn't hurt you, is because you didn't give enough. And I remember doing also like I used to do a lot of the Osho active like meditations. And I remember my teacher that studied with Osho, he would say, more you give, more you get. So I needed to give. I seriously needed to give. And I just always told my husband, you take care of our baby and our kids, and I'm gonna do like 16 consultations in a week. And for me it was a lot because I just had the baby, but at the same time brought me so much energy, brought me energy to be, with the kids. And the feedback of people healing was fascinating. So I decided to keep doing this program. So now every month I've been offering 1 week of free consults, and it's been really, really unbelievable.
That is a lot of free consults. I think you said you've done like, was it about 100 or so in total? Hey,
Yes,
more than
exactly.
100.
Yeah,
Far out. That's a lot. That's
it's a
incredibly
lot.
generous. Yeah.
It
Eh,
felt great. It
Yeah.
felt like sometimes exhausting.
Mm,
Felt great. I just could use everything I had, and I didn't have, because we come from schools that they have their own specific ways of thoughts.
mm,
And whenever you are in a role and you start just bringing everything you have and all the experiences you have,
mm,
it just it's just great. Like for me, it felt like I received so much now I can put out, and having the feedback of what work makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing, and open people's mind. I think healing is on opening people's mind.
amazing. If you've got kids listening in the car, just close their ears because I need to use a swear word for effect. But I heard this great saying once, the first 100 of everything you do will be shit. So the first 100 podcast episodes, the first 100 YouTube videos, the first 100 Instagram lives, the first 100 email newsletters that you send out will be shit. So get them out of the way as quickly as possible. And when I started this podcast, literally that was my mission, to get the first 100 out of the way as quickly as possible. Don't think about how you're doing this, do them. Because in the process, it doesn't mean that you're not going to put out great content. They're not really going to be shit. It's just you are honing your craft. And when you are a newer practitioner, it's so important to get those reps under the belt so that you can hone your craft and you can get better at what you do and you can help as many people as possible. And so often, I think in our society, we try to do everything perfect and we get analysis paralysis and we overthink things and then we just don't do it. Whereas for me, I found that saying really helpful because it took the pressure off and I'm like, okay, the first 100 episodes doesn't have to be good. Just get it out there because it will get better. And it is a literal guarantee that if you do 100 of anything, it's going to be better. It's going to get better. So, anybody out there who's, maybe more recently graduated and they're like, how do I get more clients? How do I get better at this? I love your idea because you're getting it out there to the community. People are not scared to give it a try because there's not that financial investment. The only thing that I worry about in the back of my head is I used to do free consultations when I started out, and I never found that my results were as good. And I couldn't understand why. Like the clients that didn't pay, it's like they didn't have as good results as the clients who paid. And then, somebody explained to me many years ago about energy exchange and, if somebody hasn't invested in the treatment, then you're not going to get as good results and all that sort of stuff. But clearly you are finding something very different. And so I always say to people to not do consultations for free because if there's not that investment or that energy exchange, you might find that you don't get as good results. But clearly you are doing something that I was doing wrong because you are getting great results. So what is it that you're doing?
Okay, so I worked for 5 years without giving free consults and charging for it, and I still do it. So I just offered this program for who is not my client. Like the first time in January when I opened up, it was also for the clients that I used to have, for a way to bring them back and for a way for them to feel like welcome back, like here I am, you help me, I help you. But then this is like, is your first consult is free. Before I used to charge more for the first consult. But who wants, like, if you don't know homeopathy, if you don't really know me, why would you pay, like an expensive consult? This is my perspective thinking here on my community, right? So many people was asking for my help, and I would say, no, I cannot do it. And then I start opening my mind, like, yes, I can do it, and I'm going to find a way to do it. So a lot of people, let's say, 50 60% come back, 20, 30% it was just an experience, and 20% keep in touch, but not scheduling a follow-up, but did take the remedy. So they're taking their time investigating homeopathy. But it's pretty amazing. If I get 50% of people coming back and saying, hey, listen to this. My son, he's 1 year and a half. He breastfeeds exclusively because he doesn't have any safe food. He has an anaphylactic shock to any food he eats. So APIS 30C, of course, one dose took him off of the EpiPen, which was a huge success. Then I gave Serenum because he was full of eczema, like bad, like all over, itchy, very painful, poor little baby. One dose of Serenum 30C, he slept for a week. The mother called me, like, not called me, she emailed me. Is this okay? He's sleeping a lot. And I was like, yeah, that's wonderful. Because he sleeps like 3 hours. He wakes up, he plays for half an hour, 1 hour, and then very happy, he sleeps again. I was like, that means he's healing. So he didn't have any more eczema in his body. And he's starting eat like bone broth.
That's pretty
It's an
amazing. That's pretty amazing. And
it's
that was one of
amazing.
your free consults?
One of my free consults, and she came back because she wants to keep developing the baby, you know. And she does find information online, but she wants to trust she's using the right potency. She wants to trust she's been seen if there's any aggravation, if she's doing the right thing. So it's amazing. So I love working with people that are aware of homeopathy, like home prescriber. We live in a community full of home prescribers, and that's how I got to know, practical homeopathy, because there's so many mothers here of homeschooling kids that are teaching how to use homeopathy. And I was one of those students, and I just loved it so much. I remember like laying down in my bed, I was pregnant of my third child, getting the meta repertory from Robin Murphy, and reading all these ailments. Like the first session, right mind. I was like, can you treat all these? Are you kidding me? Like, I want to learn this. Like, I want to treat all of me, my husband, my kids, my family. Like, there's so many home prescribers in my area, but I do see that lots of them are stuck in some kind of chronic situations that they don't know how to pass through, how to, uproot because they are just in some remedies, and we need to be seen. I love being seen by my homeopaths. I love that connection. It's like the people that I most love to talk to. So I'd like to share that with the home prescribers because they know so much. And it's amazing that they know so much, but I would love that they could uproot, or take a better care sometimes of their kids that they're not evolving so much and they don't see it because, like, I just give it when I want. But no, homeopathy has such a potential to flourish, to bring people to an evolutionary state. Like you're going to see your child really flourishing, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. Like use homeopathy, see a homeopath. So it's like bringing that energy to people that already knows how to use homeopathy for, many important things, but also into that other realm. So that brought more good into our community.
That is really cool because there are so many home prescribers, which is absolutely wonderful. And many of them have never had a proper homeopathic consultation before because the beauty of homeopathy is you can just do so much. Actually, Marcus Fernandez's Homeopathy at Home book just arrived today. So it's like right here on my desk. But you can have a book like this and just prescribe for yourself at home very safely and effectively, which is the power of homeopathy. But actually having that consultation with a homeopath and, like you say, being seen is quite a different experience. And so I have found that too, where I've chatted with home prescribers and they think they understand homeopathy, but then they go for a full consult and they're like, oh, there's more to this that I didn't quite understand. Like, it's so much more depth to it. And the relationship that you have with a homeopath is unlike any other in your life. You know, I have my beautiful homeopath in America as well. And I had a consult with her, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, I had my follow up. But I so look forward to our time, even though it's usually 5 a.m. in the morning for me that I have to, meet her because it's 5 p.m. at night for her. But I'm so excited to get up, 4:30 and hop onto Zoom and chat with her because that is the person in your life that will see you like nobody else. So for you to kind of give these people that have been home prescribing this opportunity to experience homeopathy on a deeper level is very powerful. It's really cool what you're doing.
Yes, I think it's true. And even homeopaths, I had like when I started studying mega potencies, and I had a few other homeopaths, friends of mine from schools that did take mega potencies, but actually they didn't know how to really follow through with the mega potencies or other things. And they were in a state that they needed help and they start contacting me. I think maybe that's how I start, taking care of people that already know homeopathy. And it's great because everybody understands of remedies, but then you give a little bit more depth into a remedy or an understanding of a miasmatic perspective. And they really understand, makes so much sense. So it's so exciting, that type of partnership, being able to talk homeopathy and recommending remedies. And I think also for me to be a better homeopath, I had to be seen by homeopaths. I had to experience that myself. It taught me to recommend remedies better. It taught me to hold the space of healing better. It taught me a lot about remedies that I would never, had taken or experienced if it wasn't by these amazing people caring for me.
Mm. I went for many years without seeing a homeopath because I had quite a bad experience, and I'm like, "Ugh, I can't do any worse than them. I'll just like do it myself." But the last year or so, I've been working with a homeopath and, seeing her really regularly. And so even sometimes I think I don't need a follow up. Like I'm actually fine, but I still go anyway. And then I'm like, oh, I did need a follow up. There's always things that come up. And so it is really important for sure. So it's great that you're working with someone as well. And being in that experience yourself as a practitioner, having somebody else hold space for you, it teaches you so much. So it's really wonderful that you're working with someone else too.
It's so good. Like you can trust, you can just, talk what's coming through, and you don't need to keep trying to think. You can just express
Mm.
and hear back. And or sometimes I just say, I just wanna evolve. What is it missing? What can you see that I'm not seeing? Or on my child, or I'm picking on them, like maybe make me a better mother, help me, like sorry, not picking on them, or am I doing the right thing? I just love it because it's just, I have 4 kids, I have a husband, we have chickens, we have dogs, we have cats. There's just so much to take care. And if I can trust somebody else to help me with that, it
Yeah.
just feels more stable.
Mm. And because they do see you in a different way and they do see like blind spots and things like that. And they do see the bigger picture. I feel like with my homeopath as well, she sees the bigger picture and she's like, oh, I remember you used to say this and this and this and this ties in with this. And I'm like, oh, yeah. It's kind of like a life coach and a psychologist and a best friend and, like a healer, a sage all in, all in one.
Exactly. I feel
Yeah.
the same. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, they're the best people to talk to.
Yeah.
We
No,
can just, it's part of a remedy. Whatever you say, it's part of a remedy. So give me, you know what I mean? There is forgiveness. I love that about homeopathy. There is not judgment, there is forgiveness. There is holding that space for you to move through. And sometimes, like, think, for example, of my son or my daughter, and like on that part, like, wow, maybe you don't need to really talk too much about it. Just find the right remedy that is gonna bring them out of this state that you're trying to teach me, but it's not gonna happen if you just keep telling them. But if you give a remedy, maybe that is gonna click, which I love it.
absolutely. Did I see on your website that you do a Lego scan as well now?
Yeah,
Do you? That's so cool.
it's amazing.
Do you do that from home or do you see clients? Well, I mean, you have to see them online in
Oh,
person if you do a Lego
yeah.
scan.
Yeah, and then I'll just do an informal, we just meet in my home informally for a test. But I've been seeing a lot of people with a very low zinc. Zinc is quite intense. So I'm
Yeah.
like, think of zinc. Zinc, like people are sick and their zinc are really low. I was like, just, take zinc metallicum, like, or take zinc, like, do something about zinc. Write down in your newspaper. I don't know, you gotta take care of this zinc because a lot of people with homeopathy, they just want to do homeopathy. And it's a kind of, I think the oligo scan is a kind of awakening call to like, well, we don't need to be 8 or 80 or just supplements or just homeopathy. You can really like, or eat oysters or take an oyster supplement. You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
No, absolutely. I see a lot of that as well. We've got our winter over here as now and over here, and it is interesting when you see people having frequent infections, and we can use all sorts of homeopathic remedies. They're amazing. But if you do an oligo scan, you see somebody is very low in zinc, you're like, well, take a zinc supplement because your body is really going to need that as well. I mean, I can't stop raving about it. You know that I'm like the oligo scan raving lunatic because it's made such a huge difference in my practice. So I'm so glad to see you're using it as well. I think it's incredible.
Oh, you were my inspiration. You taught me about them, definitely. And I was like,
Oh.
yeah, we need to have this information. And there's like, I'm in upstate New York. There's nobody here with it.
Wow. Well, I just have to give credit to John Gamble because he was the one that got me onto it. So I don't take any credit for it at all. But this is why I don't know if you saw the news that I'm opening the Centre for Homeopathic Education in Australia. So you can now study to become a homeopath with me. But that's one thing I'm definitely going to be teaching all our students, probably towards the end of the qualification, is like just teach them all how to use a Lego scan. And if they don't want to use it, that's fine. But I feel so strongly about how it's helped me in my clinic that I definitely want to include that as part of our training.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. I think it's very important because it's so complex if you want to really go into each of them and the relationships. Like, we don't study that at all in
Mm.
homeopathy. So if you can bring that perspective to your students, it's gonna be really good.
Mm, mm. Now you're an artist as well. Like, it's just like, yeah, this and this and this, and oh wait, there's this too. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so, I was raised dancing and playing piano and acting, and then I pursued that career for many years back in Brazil. And I had a band, I recorded a CD with an amazing producer. And then we did a lot of shows, but I got really tired. And I said, really, what I like is to dance, to move, to be within my body. So I needed to move to New York City for so because I said, I already dance with everybody here in São Paulo, and I'm not feeling I got all the information I need. So where do people go when they want to learn more about dance? So I just thought of Pina Bausch, Shani Teresa, the Kismaker, like all these amazing choreographers, very beautiful. And like, oh, they all went to New York. So, okay, let's go to New York. So I moved to New York to study to dance professionally there. And then I also did theater. And then I had kids, and then I started painting instead of doing all of that out of the house. And then we decided to move upstate New York so we could live in the land. So we bought a land, we opened our land, we built a home. And that's when I found this amazing amount of people that lives here that, teach us not to vaccinate, teach us to eat healthy, teach us homeopathy. And my mind just opened up. So we bought chickens, we got dogs, we started using homeopathy instead of going to the doctors and hospitals. And I teach my kids, we homeschool our kids. I
Of
have,
course.
and my husband builds our home. So we
Wow.
teach our kids everything to build a home. We teach them to learn so they can teach themselves. And we
Mm,
teach them homeopathy. We teach them to be responsible for their remedies. I couldn't do this lifestyle with trust that I can stay and heal with if we didn't have homeopathy, because we live in the countryside, we don't live close to any hospital. Like, if I was like that person that always needed to go to the ER, I would be in deep problem. So it's nice to trust that, like, our dogs are sick, we give them homeopathy.
mm,
We never had to take them to the vet. We never lost chickens because, like, we just give homeopathy to everything. Our garden, we plant, calendulas, we plant our food, not a lot of our food, but some. We use homeopathy. So it's not just
mm.
organic. Like, we love, like, what are we going to put in our garden? So we make a spray of arnica, silica, what else? They're spraying the sky, so maybe some, sulfur, some aluminum. So we do make our life very exciting, and homeopathy is, seriously, it's a big part of it.
Amazing. I mean, I'm listening to you saying all of this and I'm trying to do the math and it's not adding up because I'm like, okay, did dancing, did all this, got 4 children, but she looks 20. So I'm like, how did you start when you were 5?
No, you know,
Uh,
I think after my fourth child now, I got much younger. Something
Amazing. Well, I'm
happened.
not brave enough
I
to try that. 2 is my limit.
I recommend, but I really recommend using homeopathy. I
Mm,
have to say, I got pregnant at 40 years old for my fourth child, and I was healthy. I was the healthiest I've ever been in my whole life.
amazing.
And I had my first home birth that I wasn't ever able to
Oh.
have before.
Oh.
And it was amazing. He came to realize, like, to really bring my dream come true. Like, my dream came true with this baby. Like, and for all my babies, we all say, like, she realized all of our dreams of having a home birth. And I used homeopathy for all these years and I prepared my body, you know. I took all this sadness, traumas, and anxieties and my cosmetics, like so many good work was done. So when she came and all during the pregnancy, I kept clearing it. Like
Mm.
things would come through, I would use homeopathic remedies, emotionally, physically. And she was delivered 44 weeks.
Wow, 44.
44.
Surely that's a record.
And she was born in 4 hours.
Wow.
And I was dilated 6 centimeters already before she was born. So the remedies were preparing me. I just didn't need to suffer for like 54 hours like my first baby. I was in labor for 54 hours.
Wow.
This one was in labor for 4 hours. But the care I took of myself, the good food that I ate, the lifestyle that I chose, and all the remedies that I took, and my homeopaths working with me, I made it. And the
Mm.
baby's amazing. And also, I remember like when the baby was born, she had all this eczema. And I never had a baby with eczema. And I remember on the homeopathy hangout, membership, you were telling about the Morgan Ba for
Mm.
eczema for babies with eczema. So I started using that, and you told me use that, and she doesn't have eczema. It's
Oh.
just unbelievable. Seriously, like her skin is completely clear, and she's super happy. It's just
No.
like I cannot recommend pregnant ladies or people who are trying to conceive.
Mm.
I cannot recommend more than using homeopathy, consulting, and clearing so much so you can have a very good pregnancy, a very
Mm.
good labor, birth, and newborn, because that will make a complete difference in their character, in your experience with them. I mean, made me younger. I cannot believe it. Maybe because I
Oh.
have to work very hard now to have a baby, like I have to have extra energy.
Well, actually, I think our first membership call that we had last year, your baby was like pretty much brand new because I remember you coming along to that call and baby was only like a month or like a couple of weeks or something old. It feels like,
Exactly.
yeah,
And I promised
amazing.
myself, I'm not going to touch the phone. I'm not going to look into homeopathy. I'm just going to relax. I'm
Let's
just going to
sign up to
relax.
Eugenie's
I'm like,
membership and just
okay, I'm just signing up for that membership. Okay, I'm just, reading all the posts and I'm just on all the calls. But that's a very easy way to just start back. It's fine. I just needed that fire going again, and it got me going so much that I started
Oh.
doing all these free consults.
Amazing. I am so glad we got to share this story with everyone today because you are so inspiring, Raquel. So, so inspiring. And anybody who needs a little bit of advice on like, getting a little bit of a kick up the bum of like, freshening things up and livening things up, I'm sure that they would get that out of today's episode. So thank you so much for that beautiful gift. Is there
Thank
anything else you want to share with us? Like any final message you want to leave us with?
Yes, so I'll just say that as I just decided also to open up a sponsor and a donation for who wants to help with this
Wow.
project. So I don't need
Yeah.
to just work for free, but I can have
Yes.
people that has a way, to share, to pay for others, that you can definitely go to my website and sponsor this program. That would be so appreciated because I do this from my
Amazing.
heart. But from here on, if there's sponsorship, if there's partnership with that, I can get it to a different place. And there's families that are in such a need, families with
Mm,
4 autistic children that
mm,
cannot afford too much of a consult, but they do need help. And they
mm.
know homeopathy is their major,
Mm.
way of succeeding, you know. So we do need sponsorship too for that. That would be amazing to have some of that coming through. And who wants to understand what is a homeopathic consultation or what is my homeopathic
Mm.
consultation? Because each one of us, we're different. And
Mm.
it's just amazing because we all bring from our background into the homeopathy realm, right? So it's so exciting. And I think the last thing that I would like to say that I think homeopathy is truly an evolutionary medicine because it's just not the physical, it's not just emotional. It just brings you to such a vital force, to such a strong truth of who you are
Mm.
that you evolve, you develop, you flourish, and then the people around you start doing the same because you are your best. Do you remember like when you see somebody from your childhood and you're like, what happened to this person? Like, supposed to be so beautiful, so amazing, and why is he doing this? Like, he didn't flourish. So I always thought of that. And I feel finally homeopathy is here because it can bring a lot of people to flourishment. And this way, if I evolve, my family evolve, our friends evolve, our community evolves, our cities evolve, our world evolves. So this is what I like, and that's why I'm offering this. And this is why I think we all work with homeopathy, right?
I have nothing I can add to that. That was pure perfection. Thank you so much. And for our listeners, go check out homeopathy-echoes.com, and your sponsor link is on there as well. So homeopathy-echoes.com. And if you want to check out Raquel's art, you can go to raqueldutra.com. And I know I've pronounced that wrong, but check out the show notes. I'll have it all in there as well. Thank you so much for today. I really appreciate it. And please go sleep now. It's way past midnight.
Thank you so
Talk
much.
soon. Such a pleasure. Bye.